Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Last Level Press. I am Mr. Black, and I had hoped that I would not need to conduct another vlog so soon after my last. But roiling, hardly constrained anger has a way of motivating a man. Now, I may have just lost some of you who are keeping up with the news and basically know what I'm about to ramble on about. For all of you, whether or not you share my stance in all of this and are therefore educated or not, I don't care. It needs to be said, and I might have liked to have conducted this in much the same way as I did my Midas Touch series regarding my disappointment with some of Microsoft's decisions, that being a more formally filmed, camera on me, more professionally scripted production, but the time it would take to set that up, I think, would outdate my response to this, because all of this is happening quickly enough. Although, unfortunately, it sounds as though nothing is going to be happening in the near future, so at any rate, it would feel false for me to delay my reactions. I don't feel that I would have the proper first-hand revulsion that this situation warrants. And I know I just spoke around the core of the issue. So, for any of you who are confused, what I'm addressing right now is YouTube's response, that is to say, also Google's response, to the recent Content ID dispute that has so divided the YouTube content creator and therefore viewership community. Before I get into that, however, there is something that I want to clear up so that this discussion can be conducted in an educated manner. I may be fucking livid, but I will still keep to facts, and I will not throw around information that is not vetted, that is not true, and if I throw out opinions, I will dub them as such. The only way that we will see progress made in this is to do it in an educated manner, whether emotions motivate us or not. So, the major issue that I want to clear up is that despite the outcry and my personal disdain for it, this new system and pretty much all of Google's actions lately are not illegal. They are 100% legal. They have every right to do what they are doing. Let me explain very simply why that is. They are not a government entity. They are a private company. As such, they can do with their service what they like. By agreeing to their terms of service when you upload something, you grant them that decision-making power, whether you like it or not. It's that like it part that really colors this entire discussion. No, they are not engaging in government censorship. True. That does not mean, however, that this entire system and almost all of their decisions in the recent past are not completely and utterly unethical and amoral bullshit. That's an important distinction, friends. They have a right to do it, but that does not mean that they should be doing it. Now, you may have noticed that the background here may be oddly quiet, just a lot of gunshots, cranial demolitions, and not a whole lot else. That is because I have disabled the music for the background of this gameplay. Like I said, I would have liked to have done this in person, but so that you're not just staring at a blank screen, I've given you a little something to look at that fits my goddamn mood right now. And I have nixed the background music from this for a very simple reason, and that is because I'm not entirely ready to lay the entirety of the responsibility of this issue at the feet of Google/YouTube. I think a goodly portion of it is due to the RIAA and the MPAA. These are the companies that have been filing dubiously legal and outright aggressive and oppressive copyright claims against many, many, many people over the last several years. They are the ones with the greatest stake in the anti-piracy debate, and on a lot of those issues, I don't disagree with them. However, their methods are abhorrently guerrilla, careless, and antithetical. So, with those things cleared up, I have a question and an answer. So really the question I posit, or rather I admit, I should say, is rhetorical. The question is if multi-channel networks, MCNs, for those in the know of the lingo. By the way, quick note there. I despise the acronym MCN. It's a redundancy. Multiple channel network. Network implies multiplicity. That is a stupid label. Whoever come up with it needs to learn more English. If you want to keep that same acronym, you may even do so. Call it managed channel networks. Now I understand that within MCNs there is now the division of managed or affiliate channels. I get that. However, it's really the managed channels that really matter now, isn't it? So I'll simply let you all ruminate over that. Hopefully my terminology will catch. I doubt it. Anyway, if MCNs, and of course Google and YouTube, knew that this was going to be coming months ago, why were we not told? The answer is simple. Shareholders. I'll let that sink in for a minute. By delaying the notification to the content creator and to the viewership community that all of this was going to be coming, they have therefore dodged the bullet of investor outcry. By making an enemy of themselves now, they can then say that they are not the enemy, that they are in fact just as aghast at all of these spoiled little brats uploading so much content that they don't have any right to, when in fact they are the ones to blame. This is a calculated PR move. It is transparently such. But right now at least, their stock is going to look fine. Everyone, I want you all to make them regret that in the coming months. I want to see Google fail. I didn't used to. I want them to now. I desperately do. I want to see everything that they have built come crumbling down around them, and I want to see a competitor hoist the reins from them and do with those reins what Google should have been doing. At the very least, I would like to see that happen to YouTube. I would hope that Vimeo and the administrators therein might notice all of this and make adequate changes to their policies to accommodate this. There is a massive outcry right now for an alternative to YouTube, for goddamn good reason. However, Vimeo does not allow gameplay footage in their uploads. That's an oversight that might cost them, because I honestly and truly believe right now that were there to be even a minor exodus to a site like Vimeo, or very perhaps Twitch, I am now taking a very close look at moving Last Level Press's productions over to Twitch. At the very least, dual hosting, so that if we lose our monetization on further YouTube uploads, it will not impact us over much, so that Twitch can help offset us. They may not have the sort of visibility as YouTube as yet, but I have a feeling that may change in the coming weeks and months and perhaps year. Anyway, my point there is, before I went on to that little tangent, that I suppose because all of this is legal, that's why there are so many naysayers coming to the front saying that, oh, of course they have every right to be doing all of this. And as I said, legally, yes, they do. However, from any ethical standpoint, no, they do not. There is a fair chance that a class action suit, the likes of which I've heard several major MCNs are considering, and some, from what the rumblings I can gather say, are actually gathering ammunition to do just that. We'll see if that comes to pass. Honestly, I hope it does, because the agreements that we all sort of become beholden to when we use services like this, the discussion has come up before as to whether or not they would actually hold up in court, because they essentially demand that users waive otherwise entitled rights that were such stipulations to really be contested in court probably wouldn't hold up. But to date, no one with the clout and or money has really posited that sort of suit. So maybe that'll happen, and maybe we'll see positive change for it. I don't know. I hope so. I'm trying to remain as calm and collected as I possibly could. I'm actually glad right now that I had some technical difficulties in trying to get this vlog started. I had some personal computer issues. I'm glad for that, because had I commenced this vlog when I wanted to, it would have probably resembled Angry Joe's when he first heard of his 62 and counting erroneous matches on his account. That is to say, a lot of cursing and screaming and repetition. I love Angry Joe. He's an idol of mine. But that video got a bit repetitious. However, I stand right alongside him in this. And those of you who are used to my usual semi-jovial manner as my review character, Mr. Black, this is not Mr. Black talking to you. I know I introduced myself as such, but that's not really true. This is Cliff Davenport, the owner and founder of Last Level Press, talking to you. This is someone who has spent over a year now pouring himself every day into creating a nascent online entertainment destination. YouTube, and really just video hosting in general, is just one facet of what we do. And don't mistake this as a plug. God damn it, I will slap you for it if you try and call this shameless profiting. This is giving you context to my argument. Shut the fuck up if you think otherwise. This is a site, or rather this is a video for a site, I should say, that I own and that I founded, as I said in my previous video, with two of the closest people in the world to me, that being my current fiancé and an old roommate who is a very, very close friend of mine. We built this to resist amoral business practices. Primarily at the time, to resist the increasingly bought-off media outlets that were providing a lot of gaming news, and still continue to do so, like IGN. I have no respect for IGN. None whatsoever. They don't understand journalistic integrity anymore. But those same sorts of issues are rearing their head here, and that's why I said in my previous vlog that despite my frustration, despite the issues that we are running into, I am more determined now than ever to see Last Level Press succeed, because it is my opinion, without ego and without arrogance, that if not if not Last Level Press, the internet at least needs someone like us, and I'm happy to take the mantle. We need someone honest. We need someone who will point things out that need to change, like this. They may be legal, but they are not right. They may have every business right to do it, but it is a disservice to the public, to consumers, to all of you who are listening to me right now. I'm not going to stand for that, whether you agree with me or not. I will stand up for your rights to fair, unbiased, unbought off internet entertainment and information. How does all of that relate to this issue? Very simple. as I said, a lot of the issues that we are facing, a lot of the content matches which have come up recently, are music-based. Not all of them, I allow, but a great deal of them are. Both of the outstanding matches that I am currently contending with, I should say, are music-based. One, claimed by a company that no longer exists. I wonder if that's fraudulent or not. Don't you? Now, what I mean by that is all of the pressure from the RIAA and MPAA that has been shoveled onto YouTube and vicariously Google is skewing and biasing YouTube Google's internal policies and programs. I will parrot Angry Joe in his assertion that whomever has been in charge at Google/YouTube, whoever conceived of this magnificent catastrophe that is the Content ID system now in place, should be fired, should be blacklisted from any tech and public relations job for the rest of their goddamn lives. Because they are clearly 100% out of touch with their user base. This is undeniable fact, demonstrable by the last week's events and numerous Kotaku articles, which I will link to in the description below, which illustrate how very broken, abusable, and corrupt this system is. This is not opinion. This is fact. Also, I'll add, whoever's been in charge of their PR department in answering for all of this should certainly join them in hobo rags on the street, because they have done no better a job. I will cite for you the reasons for that assertion of mine, which, as I promised earlier, I do admit as an opinion, however, one that I believe is rather well evidenced. To illustrate this, I will read to you now, so feel free to skip ahead a minute or so if you don't care to hear it. The open letter, essentially, the email that YouTube has been sending out to various content creators, so graciously provided to the rest of us, via Kotaku. Again, a link to which I will provide in the description below. It reads as thus. Hi from YouTube. You might have heard about or been impacted by, yes, I have, an increase in copyright claims made on videos over the past week. We're getting in touch to explain what's happening and how you can get back to creating and monetizing great videos. Are you getting tired of their stupid business speak yet? I sure fuck am. What's happening? Content ID is YouTube's system for scanning videos for copyrighted content and giving owners choices on what they want us to do with them. Last week, we expanded the system to scan more channels, including those affiliated with a multi-channel network, MCN. Again, I cite that as a terrible acronym. As a result, some channels, including many gaming channels, saw claims appear against their videos from audio or video copyright holders. Understanding Content ID claims. Keep in mind that one video may contain multiple copyrighted works, any of which could potentially result in a claim. For example, a record label may own music playing in the video, even in the background. A music distributor may own a game soundtrack, or a game publisher may own in-game cinematic content. Also, online rights are often resold to companies like music labels and aggregators. While you may not recognize the owner, this doesn't necessarily mean their claims are invalid. Deciding what to do. When a claim is made, you'll see what's been claimed, who's claimed it, what type of claim it is, audio or video, and you can play back the part of your video that is matched. We want to make it as easy as possible for you to act on Content ID claims, and you can fill out all of the next steps, dispute options, and other troubleshooting resources here, that last little bit being a link. It's also important to know that most claims won't impact your account standing. That is patently false. Tips for new videos. If you're creating videos with content from other people, remember that rights ownership can be complicated and different owners have different policies. Be aware of music. Many games allow you to turn off background music while leaving sound effects enabled, and if you're looking for music you can freely use and monetize, check out our free audio library. Whether gaming, music, or comedy is your passion, know that we love what you do. We've worked hard to design Content ID and other tools to give everyone, from individual content creators to media companies, the opportunity to make great videos and earn money. As YouTube grows, we want to make sure that we're providing the right product features to ensure that everyone continues to thrive. Sincerely, the YouTube team. If you want the TLDR version, Fuck everyone who disagreed with us. We're not changing a goddamn thing, and we're not admitting that we've done anything wrong. Peace out. Now, there are a few utter falsehoods tucked away in there. The assertion that many games can have their audio turned off. No, not a lot can. Some, yes. A lot of big name titles, yes. But the vast majority of games, I would even posit, no, they fucking can't. That is the statement of someone who has played only major budget releases and not a vast number of games, and therefore not connected to the much larger gaming community. These are people who don't know what they are talking about. I know that sounds like a blanket statement. And they don't know what they're talking about is not specific. I know that, I get that. That's why this is a vlog and not a professional presentation. But I don't believe I'm very far off base here. These people, whoever it is that for one issued this statement and for two ordered them to, because you know this is not coming directly from whoever wrote it, they don't understand the communities that they service. That is a disservice to said communities. Now, I have a couple of solutions here. You could kind of, again, say that I'm parroting Angry Joe. Really, I think I'm not alone in this. And before I get to the solutions, I will say, and I will address this directly to Google/YouTube, this will hurt you. Badly. Very badly. Already, you have chased away one before this even happened, and vicariously through that one, an entire network's worth of content creator. I'm referring, of course, to Doug Walker, aka the Nostalgia Critic. Your aggressive and dubiously legal actions against him drove the entire That Guy with the Glasses, and therefore Channel Awesome network away from you. That hurt. And from what I hear, another long-term creator, I believe since 1999, if I remember correctly, who has also been a long-term YouTube content creator, Mark from the Classic Game Room, has officially departed YouTube. I am unsure at this point whether or not that marks the first shot in a mass exodus. I am also unsure as to whether or not, if it is such an exodus, that Last Level Press will join it. It very well may. Again, as I said earlier, I dearly hope that a competitor that actually has its head on straight will emerge in the in the near weeks and months, and then we can all move over there and let Google just disappear. Let them strangle, let them starve, let them suffocate by the wallet. But I digress. Solutions. I have a very simple one. One that does not treat every user like a goddamn criminal. Keep the bot in place. But change the way that the Content ID system works. Just because a video gets flagged, don't close out the uploader's ability to monetize it yet. Instead, let the uploader know that their content has been matched, just like it is now. But again, allow them to continue to monetize, and then send a concurrent notification to whomever it is that supposedly owns the content. Fair, right? Okay, I will take that one step further. Allow then whomever it is that claims to own that content to then bear the burden of proof. And if they can indeed prove that, for one, they own the content and they're not frauds, like a lot of these claimants are, no matter what YouTube tells you, like the guy who had the game that he made get claimed in a video by someone else who obviously has no claim to it. YouTube, your system is broken. broken, broken, broken. But even if it were broken, even if it stays broken, with this update, you could keep those of us upon which our livelihoods depend upon this system working correctly from being negatively impacted. And you could then allow for those with legitimate legal claims to things that are in fact not using fair use. Like say someone uploads a full movie. Say they upload a full song that they have no right to. It's not parody. It's not commentary. It's not review. It's just flat out illegal. I'm not saying that those people aren't out there. I know they are. By the millions. I'm not debating that. But this will then allow for the actual record labels. Let the RIAA go on their fucking rampage like they want to and just close out all of those accounts. Delete those accounts. I don't care. Those are pirates, the scum of the digital earth. Fuck them. Don't fuck the rest of us. That's all I'm asking. So, if then the people who claim that they own it can prove it, then go ahead and demonetize it, if that's what the owner nominates, or take it down, if that's what they want. If they are truly in the right, and they can prove it, then let those of us who have uploaded things that we have poured hours and hours and blood, sweat, and tears into creating. Or, once again, you can call me a fanboy if you want. I really don't give a flying fuck. Parrot Angry Joe's solution. Percentages. It is not right for a music label that owns, the 15 seconds worth of song that someone uses in video X to then claim the monetization proceeds from an entire 30, 40 hour long, 30, 40 minute hour long production. That's not fucking right. By any stretch of the imagination, that is amoral, that is corrupt. If you disagree with me, fuck you. And if you could then implement both of the solutions that I just posited, remove the burden of guilt from the uploader, plant the burden of proof upon the claimant. If the claimant is in the right, give them the right to claim a percentage of whatever work has been used. I think, and I hope a lot of you will agree with me, that that is a reasonable compromise. And that's all I'm asking for here. I'm not asking for Google to completely back the fuck off, because they're not going to do it. I'm not asking for the MPAA and the RIAA and even the gaming publishers like Nintendo and Sega that don't like this whole thing to begin with. I'm not asking them all to back off, because I know they won't. What I'm asking for is a reasonable compromise. Something that we can all agree on that isn't perfect for anyone, but is better than the absolute catastrophe that this past week has been. The one more little note that I want to remark upon before I conclude this is I find it rather humorous that in YouTube's letter they make such a production of saying, we put so much work and thought into creating this. So fucking what? I could put a lot of work and a lot of thought into building a railway bridge out of toothpicks and Elmer's glue. It would take me years! It would take me millions upon millions of man-hours! That's a lot of hard work. But the second it bears weight and a train rolls across it, it's still going to collapse into a fucking failure of a mess! Your logic does not work. Your apologies are not accepted because they don't work. They are not warranted. We don't want apologies. We want solutions. And if you do not provide them, I can promise you, Google and YouTube, This is not a threat on my part. This is an economic projection. This will hurt you badly. You will see a drop-off in content creators, in visitors, in traffic, in ad revenue, in public opinion like you already are. You will become the next Pirate Bay that parents have to ask their kids, is it okay if we log into this website? Is that gonna put a virus on our computer? You don't want that kind of public opinion. You want to remain the household name that you are now. You may think that by eliminating the pirates that are uploading free stuff onto your website, that you are avoiding that kind of public opinion. Take it from me, you are not. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Mr. Black. Thank you for joining us at Last Level Press, wherever we may host now and in the future. I do not say this in a self-serving manner. I say this on behalf of everyone whom I hope sees, supports, and agrees with the content I have just discussed. If you want to help, we need visibility. We need audience. We need people to hear what I and others like me have to say. Please like, subscribe, and join us again. Again, I thank you from the very deepest depths of my heart. I may not sound incredibly happy right now, but I'm sure you can see why. Thank you for joining us at Last Level Press. I wish you all good gaming and Godspeed.